What's the matter with my fucking hand, man? Swine?
Hey y'all, back in the house. My husband just dropped me off. He's on his way to work. Excuse my room. So I have like all this stuff over here that you see. This is new stuff. This is all the stuff here is new stuff that, excuse me, has to go to storage. Just haven't had a chance to get the storage yet. Then I have my broom in here because I was sweeping up last night. 1 minute. Got me a sandwich from the store. Ooh, I like the way they did that. Okay. Turkey and cheese with lettuce and tomatoes, mayonnaise. I just put me a canned soda in the freezer because I like my sodas to be really, really cold with a little bit of ice in it. So, anyway. So the reason why I went to the doctor today is because 2 weeks ago, I went to the GYN to get a pap smear, my yearly pap smear. And the results came back, and the results are good. There's nothing wrong. Everything is good. But she wants me to get a pelvic exam just to do a more thorough look at the inside. She said there's nothing to worry about because the pap smear came back good. But because I haven't had a pelvic exam in over a year, she wants me to do a pelvic exam. So I asked her, I said, is there anything wrong, because of the reason why she want me to do the pelvic exam? She said, no, it's just, she said, because your pap smear came back fine. She said, it's just that you haven't had a pelvic exam in over a year. And then she said, that's routine. She said, every year you should do a pelvic exam and you haven't had one. So that's why I'm sending you to get one. So I said, oh, so then she laughed. She said, no, it's nothing to worry about. Everything is fine. She said, it's just that usually when you get a pap smear, you should get a full checkup of your uterus and stuff. So I haven't had one done in over a year. So she said that I'm due for it. So I was like, oh, okay. So it's just like a regular annual thing. She said, yeah. So I was like, oh, okay. So that's all it was, because I was like, hold up now. Why are you sending me to get more tests? And she said it's only because when I did the pap smear, she said they don't do the pelvic exam there because it's a sonogram. They don't do it there, so I have to go to Lenox Hill Radiology to get that done. So I was like, oh, okay. So don't scare me like that. She just started laughing. She said, no, if there was anything wrong, it would have showed up on your pap smear. She said, but everything is fine. Everything is normal. So I was like, oh, okay. So I was going to say, I worry a lot now. My reasons for worrying has nothing to do with me or my relationship with my husband or me thinking anything crazy. I've been with this man since I was 15 years old, and I've never had an issue. I worry because cancer runs through my family. My mother's sister died of breast cancer, and my mother's father died of liver cancer. So because of that fact is the reason why I am so adamant about staying on, on point, on top of my health. So when I go get, mammograms and pelvic exams and pap smears, that's what I'm concerned about, the fact that the cancer runs through my family. It has nothing to do with me, my husband, or my relationship with my husband. Because that's one thing, thank God, that I never had to worry about is any cheating scandals or any females calling me saying this or somebody saying they saw him somewhere that he wasn't supposed to be. I've never had that issue with my husband since we've been together. And we've been together since I was 15 going on 16 and he was 17. And I've never had that issue, thank God. And his mother used to tell me all the time, she said, one thing I never had to worry about with my son is him bringing different women in the house. She said he always had one girlfriend at a time. And I'm thankful for that, because I done had to hurt somebody. Because I'm not going through all the a lot of these girls go through, they out in the street fighting, this girl calling their house, or who are you? I'm his girlfriend. Well, I'm his wife, or I'm his girlfriend. I ain't never had to go through that. And I know people in my family, I know I've had friends that has been through that situation, and I thank God that I've never had to go through that with my husband. Now, I'm not saying I never had to go through it. I just never had to go through it with my husband. But my boyfriend, my ex-boyfriend before my husband, I went through a lot of that with him. Like, I never had to fight nobody, but I've caught him in several situations with females, so, oof, he's, God bless the dead, because he's passed away. He passed away in his 20s. He was shot and killed. But when I was with him, I went through some stuff. Every time I turned around, it was a girl. It was something being said. Some girl walking up to me, even at one time it was a grown woman with kids. And she came up to me and told me that he was leaving me for her. And I'm like, lady, I'm 15. Like, this is just before I met my boyfriend. Actually, this is why, my husband. This is just why me and my husband wound up getting together, because I broke up with my ex because this lady approached me and told me, she opened up a can of worms. She told me they had sex. She told me the date they had sex. She told me exactly what happened. She saw him on a rainy day walking down the street, and she said something to him, and she asked, can she come with him home? And he said, yeah. She went with him to her house. She told me it was the best sex she ever had. And all this and that. I'm like, yeah, because one, he's a young boy, and you a grown woman, and the men that you slept with probably can't go long, whatever. He was built, he was young, he had a nice height on him, and he was, excuse me, but he was a freak. So, of course it was the best she ever had. But she was out there, it was at nighttime, it was like 9 o'clock at night, and she see me coming through the block, and she called me from her window, asked me could she speak to me for a minute. And I'm like, sure. And she just opened up a whole can of worms and told me they had sex, and he was leaving me for her, and thought she was in love with him. And I'm sitting there, and the whole time I'm looking at this lady, and I'm like I'm saying to myself, in my head, I'm saying to myself, like, you do know I'm 15, right? You do realize I'm 15, and you're a whole grown woman out here. Because at the time, I think she was in her 30s. And I'm like, You out here with a 15-year-old girl telling her how her boyfriend is leaving her for you. Like, you have no shame. I'm looking at this woman, I'm like, I can't believe this grown woman with kids. She had 3 kids. I'm like, and her kids was the same age as ours. And I'm like, you out here, like, you really out here as grown as you are, talking about how you taking my man from me? Like, I'm just looking at her like, I can't believe this couldn't have been my mother out here like this. Like, it's crazy. But anyway, that was a crazy night. Because he wound up showing up and he out there crying. He started cursing her out, calling her a bunch of old bitches and all kinds of stuff he was saying. And I never told you I was leaving my girlfriend for you. You're a liar. She was like, what about us? What about, I mean, she looked like a whole fool out there. She was like, what about us? What about everything you told me? And he yelling, I didn't tell you anything. I'm not leaving my girlfriend for you, and you're an old bitch. And he out there cursing her out. She crying. When I tell you she was crying, she was crying. And I walked away from them because I'm like, this is crazy. I walked away. He followed me crying, telling me don't leave him. He made a mistake, blah, 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 blah. Because I mean, I believed the lady when she told me that they had sex, because he, I had heard of him having sex with a few girls in the neighborhood, So I believed her when she told me. But I'm not about to fight no grown woman off of no kitty. This is kids' relationships. Like, to me, it just didn't make sense. As young as I was, I still felt like, lady, go in the house and gather yourself, because you look stupid out here. So I walked on. He followed me crying and begging me, telling me he was sorry. But at that point, I was just over it. I was over it. And I just was like, no, it's over. I was in love with this boy. Like, you couldn't tell me nothing about him as far as me leaving him. I was crazy over him. But, yeah, I left him, and that's when I wound up meeting my husband, because a friend of mine, he never wanted me with the boyfriend that I had. He never wanted me. He always felt like I was too good for him, and this, that, and the third. We was very mature for our age. We was 15 and 16 and stuff, but we was very mature for our age. And he knew my husband, and he knew that my husband was a good guy. So he thought we would be the perfect match. So he brought my husband around my neighborhood one day, introduced me to him, and my husband, as soon as he saw me, he was like, yo, who that? And this, that, and the third. He said, that's the one I was telling you about. And he was like, she gonna be my wife. And my friend, he laughed at him, like, basically like, you doing a little too much too soon. He was like, nah, that's gonna be my wife. That's gonna be my wife. Here we are, years later, married with kids, grandkids. So my husband, I never worried about. He's never gave me a reason to worry. He's never gave me a reason to think that he was doing anything that he wasn't supposed to. He was never somewhere he wasn't supposed to. It's hard to find a good man. So when God brought him to me, I am very thankful. Because when I tell you that man loves me and loves the ground I walk on, everybody, he spoils me rotten. I ain't gonna say rotten. He spoils me. I'm not rotten though.
Usually I don't post. Usually I don't post, but I want the world to know. Time to pull a drop top out. Summer